It's like I don't care about nothing, man. Oh,
Alright, so this video is going to go over angle, angle, side. So it's very similar to angle, side, angle. The only difference is where you put the side. Alright, so the journey for triangle congruence continues. Now we're on angle, angle, side. So we're going to go ahead and put the markings in for angle, angle, side. So just like angle, side, angle, you're going to have two angles that are congruent. But the difference here is that the side is not going to be in between them. It could be somewhere like this based on where I put the angles. So you want to make sure that you know you're allowed to skip one side or angle. And what I mean by this is, if you notice, to get from this angle to this angle, I had to skip one side, but then I hit this angle. So that's okay. So I can't go around the other way, because if I went from here to this, I would have to skip a side and an angle. That is a no-no. So it can't be angle, side, angle, because of the fact that I would have to skip a side and an angle to get here. So just keep in mind that you are only allowed to skip one side or one angle. Okay, so at the top of page 11, you'll notice it's asking what are you allowed to assume. I already filled this in. This should be hopefully something you remember, especially since it's been on the top of every single page in this packet.
Doc, none of us could remember anything from last night. Remember?
So you're allowed to assume vertical angles. So just in case you forget what vertical angles are, they're angles that when you see an X, they're the ones across from each other, and reflexive sides. So reflexive is when they share a side. So in the middle here, for what I drew, would be reflexive. So now let's do in here the angle, side, angle. So two angles have to be congruent and a side has to be congruent. So first they want us to name an angle. So if I do angle A will go with angle D. So I'm going to say angle BAC is congruent to angle EDF. So remember, it's the middle letter that matters. So A goes with D. The other angle that we have is B and E. So we're going to say angle ABC. Easy as 1, 2, 3. So B goes with E, so we're going to say angle DEF for the other one. Now the sides that are congruent are the ones that have the dash through it. Ooh, ah. So BC will be congruent to EF. So the moment you've all been waiting for, you can now do a triangle congruence statement. Ooh. So if I said triangle, let's do CBA. Triangle CBA. If I did that, then I would have to go in the same order that we did. So this one would be FED. FED. It's like I'm watching that 70s show. Have fed. So the reason that these are congruent is because of angle, angle, side. Weird. It's like we're talking about angle, angle, side, which is on the top of this page. Ooh.
Hey! Wow.
Okay, so this is the proof we are going to do for angle, angle, side. Now, for this one, it says, for the given ST is parallel to VU, and ST is congruent to VU. So Notice the first two reasons are given. So the first given was ST is parallel to VU. So ST I'm going to extend, VU I'm going to extend. Because I do highly recommend when they are parallel, you extend the line so you know which ones are the parallel lines. Now, the other given was ST is congruent to VU. So the same ones that we were saying are parallel are also congruent. So I'm going to put a dash through those ones because we were told that they are congruent. Now, next says vertical angles. It wants us to talk about vertical angles. So when I say vertical, I always like to say X marks the spot. So inside the triangles would be this angle and this angle. So if I want to say on the left side, I could say angle SWT is congruent to angle, if I went with S, we'll start with V over here. Angle VWU. So that would be an example of vertical angles. They are directly across from each other. Now, alternate interior. Alternate interior is when you have parallel lines and you have your transversal. They're going to be inside the parallel lines and on opposite sides. So with this one, we actually get two options. I could either choose angle U and T or S and V. I'm going to go with S and V for this one. Again, it did not matter which one I chose. So I'm going to say angle WST is congruent to angle WVU. So that would be an example of alternate interior. So the last statement is always what you're trying to prove. So the last statement will be triangle STW is congruent to triangle VUW. And that is a proof that uses angle, side. So that's the end of this video. Now, hopefully you have a better understanding of how to do an angle, side problem. So again, anything that we did not do is extra practice for you.